Hello, today we are interviewing the new 2014 through 2015 staff members from Southampton Township School District.
Hi, my name is Colby Wolfe, and I am interviewing the new Spanish teacher, Mrs. Brown. Who inspired you to become a teacher?
My Spanish teacher in high school, Senor Martin, I had him my first day of high school as a freshman for Spanish 2, and as I was so nervous being a freshman that he kind of just took me under his wing, and I kind of became his little follower, and I wanted to do everything I could to help him, and because of that I grew to love Spanish, and here I am today.
What is your favorite book to read and why?
I love Pride and Prejudice because the main male character, Mr. Darcy, is like the dream man. He's so romantic, and the main female character is just so strong and has such a good personality that, you know, I just really fell in love with the story.
What do you like best about being a teacher?
Being a Spanish teacher, my favorite thing is being able to expose students to 21 different countries with 21 different cultures. I think that's really important, just so that you guys get to, you know, broaden your horizon and know that there's more outside the 50 United States, that there's a whole nother world out there to explore.
What cartoon character do you most relate to?
I would say Carmen Sandiego, and for those of you who don't know what that was, it was a cartoon, kind of a game show, and we had to figure out where in the world she was, so she really liked to travel and, you know, go to different places and different tourist sites to see.
I heard of that too. What's the funniest thing that has happened in the classroom?
It actually happened this year. It was one of my first weeks teaching here. I used to do Spanish Fridays where I would teach my entire advanced class in Spanish, and at one point I had confused the students so much that when I spoke English to them, they didn't know that I was actually speaking English to them, and they asked the girl behind her what I said in English meant.
If you could visit any place in the universe, where would you go?
If I could go to a fictional place, I would go to Narnia. But if I could go to a real place, I would love to go to Buenos Aires, Argentina. I would really love to learn how to tango. And I would also love to learn more about Evita Peron, who is a really famous woman from Argentina.
I like Narnia too. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hi, my name is Matt Hodder, and I am interviewing Mrs. Cavallo, the new middle school science teacher. What cartoon character do you most relate to?
The cartoon character that I think that I most relate to is definitely Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus, because she's very adventurous. She likes to take her class on adventures and teach them all kinds of things. So she's a science teacher, I'm a science teacher. I like to be adventurous and use different teaching techniques, so I think that I would be most related to her.
What type of music did you listen to growing up?
Oh, I listened to all kinds of music growing up. I was not like a typical, like when I was growing up, boy bands were really big, so I listened to everything, a little bit of everything. Country, I listened to some like alternative rock. Blink-182 was really popular when I was in middle school, so things along that nature. And now I'm completely opposite. I listen to country music, so my music has evolved quite a bit.
Who inspired you to become a teacher?
She was my 10th and 12th grade science teacher, Miss Allman. She was really, really hard, but she was hard, but she was nice. Like, she pushed you to be a better student. So I always admired that with her, because she wanted you to be better, so she was harder. And she didn't just take, simple answers. She wanted you to always expand, and she really pushed me and made me realize how good I was at science. So I would say that she's my biggest inspiration for becoming a teacher.
If you could visit any place in the universe, where would you go?
If I could visit any place, it would be the Great Barrier Reef, and that's one of my big regrets in college, that I didn't visit the Great Barrier Reef or Australia when I went to college. So if I could go back, I would definitely visit the Great Barrier Reef in Australia.
Why?
Well, my background is in marine biology, so the barrier reef has all kinds of different ecosystems and all the different fish that live there, so I would definitely like to go and check that out.
What is the funniest thing that has happened in your classroom?
The funniest thing, there's a lot of like funny little things that people say that they don't realize that they're saying. I don't know one particular funny thing though that's happened. There's just been some pretty funny moments that I can't even think of one, to be honest. So
Thank you.
thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Corrine Kent. I'm speaking with the new music teacher, Miss Fajardo. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Who inspired you to become a teacher?
My theater kids, when I was in high school, my sophomore year, I was just joining to help out a friend, and it ended up that I completely fell in love with teaching, and it was definitely my kids that I was spending time with over the summer that inspired me to become a teacher.
Was it a job or were you volunteering?
I was volunteering at the time.
What type of music did you listen to growing up, and what type of music do you listen to now?
It's a little embarrassing, but I was definitely into the boy bands. Every single one of them, you name it, NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, but in middle school, I was still into that phase, a group called Dream Street, not that popular. But I can say that I grew out of that, and I really love Jason Mraz. He's always been a favorite. Maroon 5. I love jazz, too. I love everything. Country, you name it.
Do you like teaching your favorite types of music?
I do, and I think it's also important to teach music that I might not be a huge fan of, but it's important to expose students at this age to all types so they understand how music has evolved to today.
Did you do your homework in school?
I definitely did my homework in school and all of my work, because being on the bad side of the teacher was always my fear. I wanted to make sure I did everything that I needed to do.
Did you receive good grades?
I would like to think that I received good grades. Reading and writing was always my toughest, so I had to put a little bit more effort in those subjects.
What's the funniest thing that has happened to you in your classroom?
So 2 weeks ago, I was moving my whiteboard into the center of the class because it's not mounted, and I almost kind of tripped in front of my third graders, so that was a good time.
They laugh at you?
Yeah, I needed it. It was one of those days where I just needed a good laugh, so I'm glad that happened.
If you could visit any place in the world, where would you go?
I would love to go to Ireland, just because it's so green and I've seen it in so many movies, and I just think it would be so peaceful to go to Ireland and be surrounded by green all the time.
What cartoon character do you most relate to?
I think that I would relate to Dory from Finding Nemo, because she's always saying, just keep swimming, to no matter what happens, to keep going. And she also has a little bit of short-term memory, and I think I definitely have that characteristic sometimes.
So she likes to motivate people. Do you like to motivate your students?
Absolutely. I think that's one of the reasons why I wanted to become a teacher, is because I drive to inspire students every day.
Thank you for letting me interview you.
Oh, well, thank you.
It was nice meeting you.
It was nice meeting you, too.
Hi, my name is Nicole, and I'll be interviewing Miss Hess, the new 4th grade teacher. So who inspired you to be a teacher?
My 2nd grade teacher, Mrs. Shu, inspired me to be a teacher because she always made me feel really good inside, and she really motivated me to work hard. So after that, I always wanted to work with kids, and I felt like that was my calling.
What was your favorite subject to teach?
Reading.
Why do you like it so much?
I like to teach the aspects of reading, and like how to visualize, cause and effect, summarization. There's just so much you can do with it.
What did you do before you became a teacher?
I was a student and a waitress, and then I tutored a little bit as well.
Did you like being a waitress?
I enjoyed some aspects of it because you're working with people, but I don't think I would do it.
How would your life be if you weren't a teacher?
I wouldn't be nearly as fulfilled. I enjoyed it.
If you could visit any place in the universe, where would you go?
I would go to Greece.
What do you like about Greece?
I like, well, I've had family that have visited Greece, and I heard it's a beautiful place with lots of
beautiful scenery, and I just think it would be a cool place to go.
Okay. Well, I hope to see you around sometime.
Thanks. Good job.
Hi, my name is Michael Smith. I'm speaking with Miss McShane, the new language arts literary teacher. Who inspired you to become a teacher?
Well, Michael, I think the first person that comes to my head is a professor that I had at St. Joe's. And he inspired me because he was brilliant, first of all. And second of all, is because he connected with his students, me personally, and academically as well. So he's the first one, but many teachers have inspired me.
What made him memorable?
Made him memorable because he was very passionate about his teaching, and he made us rewrite and rewrite and rewrite until we got it. So that always made me remember him.
If you could go back in time, would you still be a teacher?
Probably not. I probably would be like everyone would be, a famous rock star or something like that.
Yeah,
right? If we could. But teaching is great. That's where I'm supposed to be.
What cartoon characters would you most relate to?
Well, I think I wish I could be, I aspire to be Wonder Woman. I am not even close to being her, but she is somebody that I would love to be if I was a cartoon character.
Yeah, superheroes.
Superhero.
What do you like to do during your spare time?
I like to spend time with my family at the beach. I like to read. And just go on kind of vacations, family vacations. Family's a big part of my life.
Did you grow up at the beach?
I did not grow up at the beach. I wish I would have, but we, vacationed quite often at the beach. And now I've spent a lot of time in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What did you do before you became a teacher?
Before I was a teacher, I was a paralegal, which is a legal assistant in Center City, Philadelphia, for a firm called Montgomery, McCracken, Walker, and Rhodes. A lot of names there. And I enjoyed it, but teaching is much better and much more challenging, I think.
Do you think it's easier here or harder?
I do not think teaching is easier now. I think it's definitely more challenging, but it's definitely more exciting than what I was doing before. I've been doing this for 15 years. I only did that for 3, so better, right?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. Pleasure.
This was Miss McShane's interview.
Hi, my name is Kazokas, and today I'm interviewing Mrs. Passero, the special education teacher. So I have a few questions for you, if that's all right.
Okay, that's fine.
The first question I'd like to ask is, what do you like to do in your spare time?
Well, I live in LBI, so in my spare time I like to hang out with my twin sister on the beach, and we have 2 dogs, so we do a lot of things on the beach with our dogs, and I like to surf and swim and do any body activity in the water, so boogie boarding. I've been parasailing, yes. Mm-hmm.
Alright, what is your favorite book to read and why?
My favorite book to read is The Fault in Our Stars. I read it a few years back, and then I loved it then, and then I found out it was going to be a movie, so then I reread it 3 more times after that, and so I would be able to know what was going on in the movie, refresh my memory.
Who's your favorite character in the book?
Augustus.
What type of music did you listen to growing up, and what type of music do you listen to now?
I listen to Blink-182. I still listen to them now. I had the opportunity to go to the reunion tour a few years back, and that was awesome. Now I listen to the Mumford & Sons, and I found out that they are collaborating with the Arctic Monkeys, and I like them too.
So do I. How would your life be different if you weren't a teacher?
If I wasn't a teacher, I would do something that is called a reading education assistance dog trainer, the READ dogs. And I would still be going into the classroom, but I train these dogs to help students feel comfortable reading, so they would get the confidence to read to an animal, and that improves their reading level.
What's your favorite type of dog?
Labrador Retriever. I have 2.
If you could visit any place in the universe, where would you go?
Italy, because I'm Italian, and my grandmom and my mom and my dad all came from Italy, so I've never been, and I love pizza, and I heard it's really good there.
Alright, well that was the last question, so thank you.
Thank you.
This has been Caitlin Kazokas and Mrs. Srta for Media Club.